Well, hello and welcome from Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm Victor Vallee, joined alongside Dylan Baadte here up in the booth for tonight's action. It is round 3 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the NASA RallyCross Championship here, the Simracer coin NASA RallyCross Championship. As you see on track right now, we do have seating going on. And it looks like right now, Jake Robertson is at the top of the chart. We'll go ahead and bring that up in just a moment here. But I'm going to go ahead and right now and bring in Dylan Baadte here. Dylan, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How's everything going on your end tonight?
Oh, a little bit behind the 8 ball, as much as I hate to say that, but I think we'll get through it just fine. And we'll see how it goes.
You know, sometimes that's it's an old tradition we like to renew every now and again, so we remember the old days here.
Absolutely. Josh was always known to be behind the 8 ball half the time anyways, doing things last minute. As much as he doesn't like to admit it, he definitely has been. So not a new tradition here at ASN, but we'll go ahead and jump right into it with the standings here. And right now, with about 2 minutes left in seating, Jake Robertson, your fastest qualifier right now, and he's actually just finishing up his laps now. He only got two laps to qualify, and he is fastest. Sandre Silva in second place, and Philip Kraus third place right now.
Yeah, that's a name that I'm familiar with from the Solstice racing days. Known to make an appearance every now and again and put a hurting on the field. So, we all are familiar with what Philip's capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of the more well-known drivers in the NASA Rallycross Championship right now. A couple drivers still on track. Austin Derbyshire. So I've seen him around iRacing a couple times here and there, as he's going to make his way across the line for his second lap, and I believe that is it for him.
Yep, I'm going to pull off and park it.
Say about a minute left. Oh, and there's Magnus Okenhog out on track right now.
That looks like his first lap cracked him into the top 10 there.
Yep, and I think he should be able to improve here. But yeah, right now, Magnus Okenhog, as his name is so long, it actually runs off the our little graphic there for him. So apologies about that. But yeah, Magnus Okenhog right now 10th. So I expect him to go up a little bit further in the field here.
Yeah, it seems to have a very good lap. Got through the U-turn down there very good. I've seen a lot of people have trouble there through the practice here. And he does. He goes up to 7.
Yeah, up to 7th place with about 30 seconds left. And I think besides him and Daniel McDonald just finished his lap. So that is it for right now. Jake Robertson, your fastest driver in seating. And we'll be going to heat number 1 in just a moment here.
Hey, Magnus is really aggressive on that first back half of the track there. He's got a lot of speed carrying through there.
Yeah, and there's Magnus right now just finishing up his lap. And yep, it is officially done as we're about to grid up here. So heat number 1 is going to be Jake Robertson, Matt Hartley, Ray Kingsbury, Austin Derbyshire, Daniel McDonald, a newcomer to the NASA Rallycross Series, and Savion Ragster, rounding out your first 6 in heat number 1.
Alrighty.
As you hear from Race Control, 6 laps, Joker once. We were going to have a graphic to explain all of the rules to you, but I guess it's better just to have Race Control do it for us.
Still waiting on the last few cars to grid up here. There we go.
There's Robertson waiting on McDonald now. And there's McDonald, and we're about to get going here. Lights are on.
Green flag.
And away we go.
Everybody with a nice, clean start. Gets good acceleration. Nobody's really left behind. Love to see it.
Absolutely. And it looks like everybody gets through safely through turn 1, but Jake Robertson going to go ahead and take the lead here for the time being. Hartley now second.
Ooh, a little bit of a gaggle back there as they landed on that first jump. A little scary to see, but everybody seems to make it through clean.
Yeah, right. Yeah, looks like everybody right now just battling right here. Top 2 advance. Robertson going to go ahead and take his Joker here. Remember, that is now legal in the NASA Rallycross series. I know a couple years ago it was not legal, but rule change has made that legal. Ray Kingsbury, I believe, is jokered as well. He's up to 2nd place.
I really like that call for the leader here. I mean, coming out with that big of a lead through the first set of corners, why not extend that now and kind of challenge everybody to pick up that ground?
Yeah, absolutely. It's important to do so. When you have the opportunity to extend that lead, go ahead and do so. Why not? As, of course, they have taken their 2 jokers. Now we're going to go ahead and turn our attention back to Matt Hartley. See if he's going to take to the joker. He will not. And into the fishbowl he goes.
Yeah, what a corner down here.
Now, that's quite the corner, as it looks like Derbyshire has jokered, and he's gotten ahead of Hartley for the time being.
Oh man, some of these guys are very aggressive on the curves. Not familiar with this. I'm used to driving a stock car, not these things that are built for this. It's a little scary to see all this travel on 2 wheels.
Yeah, I know we were talking about that in the pre-race before we went live completely. These cars can take a beating, and iRacing has actually made these cars a little bit more capable of doing so over the last couple updates here. I know a couple years ago, when the Rallycross started coming onto the scene in iRacing, it was a little bit harder to battle with these cars and go side by side and take a beating, but now looks like they've gotten to about the same durability as their real-life counterparts.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we don't have to see like what we saw in practice there a few times. A couple guys got a little wide in the tight corners there at the beginning of the track, and they would kind of catch that wall, and it's an impact that you'd expect to break the front clip at least on one side, and there was not even a scratch on the car. So definitely props to iRacing for what they've done in making these cars a little more durable. It's certainly going to make racing a lot more fun to watch.
Yep, and as we're talking about fun to watch, Hartley has gotten around Kingsbury. He just took his joker here, coming to 2 to go. Not missing anything out front right now. Jake Robertson still leads by about 3 seconds over Hartley. Hartley battling Kingsbury for the transfer spot right now.
And this will be interesting to see if you can keep this gap close here and try to send it into the fishbowl and get a nice corner. You know, if you can be fast there, you can. Oh, see, he gains a little ground, not a lot, but a nice smooth corner. And he thought maybe he'd really try to send it in there and float that thing underneath the other car, maybe.
Say right now, and as you can see, that is quite the shot. Matt Hartley, Daniel McDonald, and Ray Kingsbury all going at it, beating and banging, coming to the white flag. Jake Robertson all out here. He's gone. This is a battle we're going to keep an eye on until the end. But yeah, right now, it's Hartley.
Where did McDonald come from? He came out of
nowhere.
Yeah,
McDonald was able to take the joker and get right in there, slotted right into that battle. And here comes Kingsbury. He's going to give him a little tap here.
Oh, little bumper.
A little bit of a bumper, yeah. And they're coming to the checkered. Robertson's already taking the checkered flag here. Let's see if Kingsbury has anything for him. He's going to go for it. Up the inside, just a tap.
Oh, and he holds on to it.
Hartley going to go ahead and transfer into the feature right there.
Exciting early here in Heat 1.
Throw all 3 of those cars under a blanket. There's Jake Robertson.
Robertson's in reverse. Look at him poking some fun at these boys, letting them know he put the hurting on them.
Well, he put on a show, and we didn't get to really see any of that show because we had that battle back there. So, figured might as well show off. What a absolute thriller of the Heat number 1. But we're going into Heat number 2 now, as cars are grading on the circuit now. It's going to be Silva, Aish, Cryer, Kingsbury, Matt Kingsbury, that is, Adam Rosales, and then Cole DeRoiser rounding out the field. About to get this one on your way. All 6 cars on track for this heat. And we are out and away for heat number 2. And Silva's going to take the lead. He has the red plate. He is your points leader after.
Little contact there through the first set of corners. Everybody seems to make it away clean, though.
Yeah, Kingsbury muscled his way up there into second past Aish. Now Aish down to third. He's going to have to take the fight back. We'll see what Silva does here on the first lap. Does he joker? Yes, he does, just like his teammate, Jake
gonna follow
Robertson.
suit
So
with his team car and go ahead and gap him out while he can now, and hopefully just run some smooth laps and put this one into his control.
back for the battle for the transfer spot. Kingsbury still holds it, but Aish and Cryer right there on him.
Yeah, really. Cryer closed in out of the second half of that lap where we weren't really paying attention to him as we were watching to see if the leader would take the Joker, and he really came into that picture. It's looking a lot like the last race already.
Yeah, we have 4 cars under a blanket here. It's Kingsbury, Cryer, Aish, and Rosales. Rosales, I believe, just got by Aish. Not sure what just happened to Aish, but we'll have to take a look after if we have the time.
Kingsbury had messed up this corner there for a second, and then I realized what he was doing. He was taking it wide so he could get on the throttle and take that Joker lap at a high rate of speed.
And so that moves Cryer up to P3 and away from Cryer and Rosales. I believe Aish must have gotten into it with Rosales. That's all I can assume. But
yeah,
right now, Kingsbury in control of that second spot, trying to catch Sandro Silva here for the lead. Or Sindre, excuse me if I get that wrong. So say hopefully somebody can correct me on that.
If we get it wrong, I'm sure we'll get a message from our glorious leader later letting us know we messed up.
Yeah, of course.
And Kingsbury's got Cryer really closing in on him here. I don't know if maybe he took his Joker that lap and that's what brought him back into the picture here. But,
I believe so. I think that's exactly what happened. Unfortunately, my timing and scoring does not show the if they have taken the Joker lap or not, but that would be most likely.
Soon.
Yeah, exactly. Coming soon. Still running ATVO here and ASN.
Things can only get better as we go.
Exactly. So we'll get on that next time around. But right now, this battle for second heating up between Kingsbury and Cryer.
And he transitioned onto the pavement there, and Cryer's really putting the pressure on him. He's just slowly but surely closing that gap a little bit by little bit.
I believe in practice, Kingsbury was saying that his car was set up for basically the pavement section of this track and not the dirt, because he did not believe that the dirt section would have any kind of overtaking here. So as we go once again through the fishbowl one more time, coming to the white flag.
Look at the corner.
Cryer all over him.
He's definitely putting the pressure on. You know, it's I was listening to the Dale Jr. download earlier today, talking about how Dale Earnhardt Sr. people wrecked because they were looking in the mirror looking at him, and Kingsbury's probably looking in the mirror a whole lot back there at Cryer right now.
Say if I was Kingsbury right now, I would be too. This is getting good right now, but I think Kingsbury has saved his Joker into the final lap. He should be able to sprint away from Cryer here and hold on to that transfer.
Kingsbury took his on lap 2.
He did, yes, he did. I actually forgot about that. I have not been following this. Here comes Cryer. Cryer to the inside. Oh, and Kingsbury in the wall.
No, you hate to see it. Kingsbury gets the guardrail there. That's gonna end that.
So Kingsbury was holding on so well, and Cryer took a dive.
You knew it was gonna be a heck of a race.
So had he hung on until the pavement, it might have been a different story. But Cryer gonna make it in.
What a move into the fishbowl. We were just talking about Kingsbury didn't think the dirt would have a lot of passing opportunities. He got bitten on that one.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Set the car up for the pavement, and that has bit him. So yeah.
All right. Congratulations also to our Heat 2 winner, Silva, over here.
Yes. Sindre Silva, your Heat 2 winner. I say he's still out there on track. We'll go ahead and take a look at his car there as he stops. Your points leader. That's actually going to, I believe, give him a couple extra bonus points for winning that heat. So we move on to heat number 3. It's going to be Kraus, Okenhog, Klog, Brokaw, and Mikus. Mikus did not qualify for last week. He was actually the first car out at Daytona by 2 1,000ths of a second, but thankfully for him tonight, to say there was no pre-qualifying, so he was able to get in the show right away.
Yeah, unfortunate for Chad. You know, he's kind of synonymous in the sim racing community with the Daytona. You know, that's kind of his playground. He's always looking to do great there, goes out of his way to make sure he performs. So it's, I'm sure that was unfortunate for Chad to not make the field last week.
Waiting on Clog to grid up here. And there he is. Looks like iRacing can update his paint scheme, but all is well, and we are about to get heat number 3 on your way. Krause, Okenhog, Clog, Brokaw, and Mikus. Lights out, and away we go once again. Kraus going to get away cleanly here. And he's going to have it in there. Oh, he's going to get hit! Oakenhog.
I don't think he was prepared for Kraus to break like that, but what a move by Phil to downshift and get back in the throttle. He's going to hold on to the lead.
Yeah, Kraus not phased by that. Norris's Subaru and Pretza. Looks like that thing has held together nicely.
And as well for the Oakenhog's car behind him. Surprised the front bumper's not caved in. It looks pretty stout and sturdy.
And Oakenhog's going to go to the Joker right here along with Clog. And so does Micus. So this might actually play into Oakenhog's favor here because Micus has not been one of the cars showing pace this weekend, or last weekend for that matter. And now Philip's going to be stuck behind him if he's not careful.
Yeah, Phil's going to have to navigate some traffic to make up this ground. Now, luckily, he's still got his Joker. He can take it any time, and that'll probably do a lot of the work. But you're going to want to be close to that car in front of you that's holding you up before you do that. You don't want to do it and come up a little short and still be stuck behind him.
Yeah, clean air right now for Oakenhog. With Clog right behind him. Clog, I believe last week was your LCQ2 winner, as Kraus is going to take the Joker. Yes. And we were just talking about that.
Race.
Yeah, we were just talking about Kraus. He may be getting mired in traffic, but he might have been listening in and said, "Oh, no way! I'm gonna take my Joker right now, get that clean air, and get away from everybody here and get into the feature." So Kraus,
that's a statement right there.
Yeah, that was a bold move, bold statement move for Kraus. Gonna put him back up into the lead, but Oakenhog, I know he has a couple things to say about that. He wants to get back up there and challenge Kraus for the lead.
Yeah, he's in the transfer spot, but the way these guys are racing here, you can tell they both want to win pretty bad. They're not content with just transferring in.
Yeah, that's right. Kraus was your third fastest qualifier tonight in seeding, and as I say, it's kind of obvious to see why he was. Absolutely has the pace around this track in Hamptons, Georgia right now. So he's doing absolutely everything he can to hang on to that lead.
Oakenhog going to try and swing a little wide through the corner. Seems to have a little bit better of a run out this time than he did last lap as they come around this left bend.
Yeah, just kind of hanging on through there and just making it work.
Ooh, he slid early into that paved corner. Looked like he's a little Formula Drift there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's faster for these guys or not. I would assume it is. I mean, if Oakenhog's doing it, he's one of the best in the NASA RallyCross series, along with Kraus.
Yeah, I guess in a shorter race like this, where you're on dirt a little bit too, you're probably cooling the tires off a little better than you would on like a paved track, and you can really wear them out. You're only racing 6 laps, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, I'm not really sure how this tire model works, but right now it looks like Clog has actually had something go wrong, and he is actually out of the event. I'm not sure what happened to Clog. We'll have to go ahead and try to figure out what happened to him, but he has retired from the event. So let's see if I can go back here real quick. Since we don't have much action on the track as it stands, there is Clog right there. We're gonna go ahead and take you back a couple of seconds here. There's Brokaw and Clog. See what happens here. So he's still not missing anything on track. It's still Kraus, Oakenhog, Brokaw, Micus. Oh, he hit the turtle. Hit the turtle and goes end over end.
That is not going to help the old shop budget.
That definitely will not help at all. But Phil Kraus is going to go ahead and go over the jump. And he's going to take heat number 3 here with Oakenhog. Coming in second. 1.6 seconds back. Then I believe it's going to be Brokaw and finally Micus going to the LCQ.
Man, I can't believe the way that car rolled.
Yeah, that was... I have never seen anything like that. I mean, actually I have. One of my friends, we were going to have to give him a shout out here, Roberto Ramirez. He was
the legend.
Yes, sir. With Bolt's Designs, yeah. He was messing around at Daytona, the new Daytona Roval. And let's say we're already getting going here with heat number 4. But he had gone over the new chicane and actually flipped just like that. So
yeah, those are the same type of curbs that that he got into here a minute ago. Those same blue high tops, and those things are aggressive, man. They don't play around.
Yeah, as they call them in Europe, the sausage curbs. They definitely do not play around. Harbert's going to lead them through here on the first lap. Looks like he's going to go ahead and take the Joker. As most, I think every single one of our leaders except for Phillip So say everybody except for Philip Kraus.
Yep, he's taking the Joker lap 1.
Exactly. So when you're in the lead, I think that's the way to do it. Cohen Atard also took the Joker, and I think Chris Wetz did not. And I think that's where you see the battle right now is Wetz, Mofta, and Feldman. And there's those three right there on track as it stands.
Yes, the traditional dark green and lime green accented cars. Chris Wetz, the theme he's followed for many years.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful looking cars. I would assume it's Lotus inspired as Mofta gonna take to the Joker. So. And back up in the front, Cohen Atard, your LCQ number 2 winner last week. After a little bit of controversy there, last week we had I can't remember who it was, but we had somebody take 2 Jokers in the LCQ. They were disqualified and gave the win back to Cohen, who was the first to cross the line in that LCQ.
Yeah, as a competitor, you hate to get one like that, but rules are in place for a reason, and you gotta enforce them, and you're never gonna say no to a win, right?
Exactly. And he was the first to cross the line. They gave him the iRacing system gives him a 5-second time penalty if anybody takes 2 Jokers in the event, which is why that Atard was demoted to second. In the iRacing system, they had to make a new server and get him into the final. But nonetheless, he was able to come out with a solid result last week. And here he is in position to make it right into the final right here. But Mofta right there breathing down his neck.
Yeah, definitely not cutting him any slack. He gets close in a few points in the track, falls back a little bit in the others, but overall, he's right there, and if any little hiccup is made, he's gonna be all over the target.
Yeah, Mofta is a satellite team to the Last Lap Motorsports team. That's Matt Kingsbury, Ray Kingsbury, and all those guys. So he's running the same setup they are. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do on the dirt compared to Atard. But I think that's going to be where he struggles is just the same as Kingsbury did in heat number 2.
Yeah, you can see it just seems like maybe he was a little slower there through that corner, but it just seems like he doesn't want to slide in the fishbowl like everybody else does. Everybody else seems like sprint car mentality through there, and his car seems almost like it's kind of rolling through the bottom.
Yeah, I can't remember if they set it up for right-hand turns or left-hand turns, but they definitely said it was more geared towards the pavement, so I would assume
you can see on the pavement, it's one to do things.
It's absolutely digging through the pavement. That would be basically your enduro cross. Can't remember what we actually called those events where we ran at Lime Rock a couple years ago, but it'd be one of those kind of cars that you'd want at a full pavement track. As it looks like
comes Wetz with his Joker trying to close in.
Yeah, Wetz trying to close in on Mofta, but it's not going to be enough for the transfer spot. Harberts is going to win, and there he is. He's going to finish up, and then it's going to be Atard, and then Mofta, Wetz, Feldman are all going to go to the LCQ here. So let's say here comes LCQ number 1.
And then here we go. Kingsbury starting up front. Be interesting to see if he can stretch out that lead and maintain it.
Yeah, Ray Kingsbury going to be in the front row. They got the preferred lane into turn number 1 here, which is, of course, a right-hander. But you got to be careful not to get hit like we saw Philip Kraus in heat number 3.
Yep, and also it's a little more crowded of a start here. This is our first event with 7 cars on the track tonight.
Yeah, so it's going to be 7 cars. Max for LCQ number 1 would be 8 cars, but we only had, I believe, 19 show up tonight. So we only have 7 strong here in LCQ number 1.
Yep.
About to rev them up one more time. Lights are on, and away we go for LCQ number 1. And
ooh, very close start. Everybody gets off the line there.
It's a very even start throughout the field.
Kingsbury putting the old Spark VR ride out front. Not quite as big of a gap as we've seen in some of these other races, but if he takes that Joker, I'm sure he'll stretch it out.
Absolutely, and just to remind everybody the rules for tonight. LCQs, you have to Joker once, as you see Kingsbury and Brokaw do here.
Yeah, Brokaw did not get into it as well as he wanted. He was in the grass a little bit, it looked like, with the left side tires there. He still maintains the gap, but that could have hurt him a little bit.
You know, a bit of a messy Joker there for Brokaw, but still putting
Like
pressure.
he was waiting to maybe waiting to see what Kingsbury was going to do, and the reaction, just snuck up on him a little bit quicker than he had anticipated.
Yeah, absolutely. And only the winner gets to transfer into the feature here. So
we're not going to lose sight of the leader tonight for this heat.
I don't think there's much reason to lose sight of him now, but keep an eye.
Seems to really get through the fishbowl a lot better than Kingsbury, like we were talking about. Car set up for the pavement more.
Exactly, and I think that's going to be where Kingsbury gets hurt. But he has 5 laps, and coming to 3 to go right here, so he's got only 3 more laps to hang on. Time and score is a little bit slow there, but nonetheless.
And you can see this corner especially right here, the cars that the Kingsburys are running especially, they really bite through that right-hander right there.
Yeah, the last lap motorsports cars really bite through the pavement section of the track. Say Brokaw, McDonald, and Micus.
Very good fishbowl there for Kingsbury. Carried a lot more speed than I've seen all night.
Yeah, a lot more confidence shown through by Kingsbury here in the OCQ of his car.
Yeah, he is. He's gapping the rest of the field right now.
Yeah, by almost a country mile right now. As we're going to go ahead and turn it back to the battle for second. It really doesn't mean much in terms of who gets in the feature, but it's Brokaw, McDonald, and Micus. Micus was actually just there, and actually I think he has had an accident on the track, and he is going to fall to the rear of the pack.
McDonald got really sideways, really sent that thing into the fishbowl. What a corner.
So McDonald battling with Micus, or not Micus, excuse me, I have to actually look at the leaderboard. That's Savion Raxter in the 91 going for 3rd place. This is battle for points. And right now, back up at the front, still not missing anything. Ray Kingsbury still leads. Brokaw in 2nd as the white flag is out. This is a battle on track that's closest, and we're going to keep with it as they go through the hairpin fishbowl right here. Oh, side by side. They made just a little bit of contact in almost a picture perfect, and Clog's going to take the spot. What a move by Clog through the Joker. Back up front. Oh, into contact. And oh, man, Derbyshire's going to pile into that one. And oh my goodness.
Oh, that's unfortunate for everybody involved there in that corner. Look, things are getting a little dicey there, and just 2 cars going for the same real estate. Sometimes that happens.
So as you hear from race control, Ray Kingsbury to the final. Now getting ready for OCQ number 2. This one has Rosales, Mofta, Aish, Wetz, Matt Kingsbury, Diane Feldman, and Cole DeRoisers as well. So another 7-car LCQ here. As we're about to get set here, I got to get to the camera. Say everybody's on track really quick for this one. Actually waiting on Cole DeRoiser.
Lights are on.
Yep, and there we go. I think DeRoiser has decided to sit this one out. And it's going to be Mofta into 1 with the lead.
Gave a little shot to Wetz there in the 3rd or 4th place. Got a little shot going in and managed to use it to his advantage and just kind of power drifted through the paved section right there.
Yeah. Mofta, you're the first winner when NASA RallyCross transferred over to iRacing. That was the first winner for the series at Daytona way back when. And then we had another stint in NASCAR Racing 2003 season before coming back now. But Mofta out front by about a good bit here, about 7 seconds over Daniel Aish. But Aish still has yet to joker. And he's battling right now on track with Matt Kingsbury. He's right behind him here. And there's Kingsbury with Wetz right on his tail.
The Joker lap here, some tracks you see it and it's kind of an advantage, but this place, man, it's cutting off a whole leg of the track here, so, I mean, it's a big strategy to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's bigger than just a little bit of the track. It's almost an entire section of the track gone. I would say about 7 seconds, if not more, you can make up through the Joker. As you see, Kingsbury and Aish battle out here. To update you, Rosales has actually gotten to the lead past Mafta here after taking the Joker.
I just noticed that he used the Joker to his advantage.
Yeah, so, and then now, as we're talking about it, Daniel Aish to the lead using his Joker. Not sure how far behind Mafta got and how he got that far behind, but he has as we come to 2 to go.
Maybe he caught the, a bobble in the dirt. Maybe he caught a wall a little bit and lost a couple seconds, and then, all it takes is 2 seconds for the Joker to put them another 2 seconds ahead of you when they come out the other end.
Exactly, and
he's another one of those guys running the asphalt setup that you mentioned.
Exactly, and that may have been what cost him here. Maybe in this left-hander, this wide left-hander through the dirt. As now we see Chris Wetz jump up to second, taking his Joker. He's battling with Rosales right here. And Rosales is going to spin. And he's backwards on the track. Going to get that thing fired up and go. But he's going to lose all his positions now down behind Diane Feldman there in 5th. And Kingsbury, I do not believe, is jokered yet. And right now at the front, and actually I think we just saw it, Rosales has hit the sausage curb and lost control of that vehicle. But right now it's Aish. Does Kingsbury have anything for him? There's Kingsbury and West right behind him, but I think it's going to be all Daniel Aish here. Unless he has something catastrophic.
A big head of steam, and it looked like he might get there, but just about a second and a half, 2 seconds short of being able to really challenge.
So Daniel Aish going to make it to the final here in LCQ number 2. Best of the rest, Kingsbury, Wetz, Mafta, Feldman, Rosales, and DeRozier, who did not start in LCQ number 2. Gonna have a quick warm-up here, as it looks like. So we've got a couple cars on track. We go ahead and focus on Philip Kraus, 3rd fastest and winner of heat number 3 here. So yeah, obviously they haven't taken a lap yet, so we don't really have any timing and scoring yet. But Dylan, I want to know from your perspective, so far you've seen all the heats tonight, the LCQs. What is it going to take to win in the final here? Of course, we've got a lot of great drivers, and it's going to take a lot of good luck to get in.
Yeah, I really think from what I've seen so far, the key is, number one, obviously, you got to get out of the whole shot fast. You got to be clean. You got to get your traction right away and get into that first set of right-handers on the pavement as clean as possible without a car too close to you to where they can have an effect on how the rest of your race is going to go. I think it's really about just hit your marks, get out there. If you're out towards the front, really close to the leader, it's kind of cat and mouse. The real choice is, do you follow him if he takes that Joker the first lap, or do you wait and think you can hang with him and then use it to your advantage a couple laps later?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously we have a lot of guys right now that, I mean, they've shown pace throughout the event, and it's all going to come down to who's gonna take the Joker at the right time and show that pace. I mean, you said it pretty well. It's just taking the Jokers at the right time and getting out into that clean track.
And the big thing is that split second decision making is really going to come into it, because if you're right on the leader's bumper in that first set of corners, like we saw, and I believe it was the 3rd heat, second place tried to take that right under the Joker, and they went a little wide, caught the grass, and it actually cost them a little time. So they didn't stay as close to the leader. And if maybe if he had waited and not made that quick reaction and done it the next lap, it would have worked in his favor. So that's some of the things we've seen tonight that you got to kind of account for. But if it's me, if we're talking, if I'm in the first 2 or 3, I'm taking that lap. I'm taking the Joker right away, and I'm just going to hope nobody pulls fast one on me.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it with Mafta in that second LCQ. He was definitely kind of showed up there by a couple guys. Kind of, I don't think, I personally didn't expect those guys to be out in front of him through the Joker, but I think history has shown throughout the last couple of NASCAR RallyCross events here, and now, of course, with tonight's showing, taking the LCQ on the first lap definitely gives you a huge benefit, especially if you're out near the front of the pack, because that gives you a lot more breathing room and a lot less chance of having to get in a battle and losing time to the leaders.
Yeah, and we've seen small contact can cost you a lot of time, especially in the dirt sections of this track. If you door somebody and you lose a little speed, it's not as easy to gain that on the dirt as it is when you come into the pavement. And then right there, we just saw it here in our warm-up session. Somebody comes out of the Joker and gets into you, like, it's scary. So if you got any kind of lead, take that thing and extend it, man, and give yourself that peace of mind. It's going to make running this race a lot easier, I think.
Yeah, and I think you alluded to it in just a couple moments ago. You were talking about the Dale Earnhardt situation there. We were talking about that with the Dale Jr. download and driving out your mirror. You don't want to do that, especially not in rallycross racing. There's so much going on, and there's so much you have to deal with.
Yes, and everything here is happening in split seconds, tenths of seconds. There's not a lot of time to react. You can't be worried about what the guy behind you is doing. So if you can get away to, make it easier on you to focus on your job and look out the glass instead of into the mirror, that's definitely the move you should make.
Exactly, and you mentioned it. Everything happens so fast here, so you're making so many split-second decisions. You don't have a chance to look in your mirror, and if you are, you're probably making the wrong decisions in front of you, and that's going to cost you so many seconds of time. And these cars are so hard to drive as it is, and you have a changing track now, as it looks like it's starting to get a little bit more towards the pavement side of things, a lot of the dirt going away, so that may actually benefit the last lap motorsport cars here in the final here, which is going to be, I believe it's going to be Ray Kingsbury, and see, I can't tell you who else is actually on that setup. I think it's just Kingsbury in the final, so keep an eye out for Kingsbury. He's going to have to come through the field. He actually was the LCQ1 winner, so we got about 15 seconds left. But
it makes you wonder if through all the practice that these guys have been doing, getting ready for this race, that maybe that's why he's on an asphalt-dependent setup, because he knew that over time, this dirt would kind of wear thin, and there might be a little more pavement.
Exactly. As you watch Jake Robertson go around the track here.
Oh, way to make us look bad,
yeah.
Jake.
Well, the warm-up is over here, so everybody's going to pull off the track.
It's perfect timing.
It definitely was perfect timing. As we head to the final, it's going to be Robertson, Silva. Those are Apex Racing teammates 1-2. Then it's Kraus, Harbert, Hartley, Cryer, a newcomer to the series. This is his first start tonight, and he makes the final. Another first-time competitor making it to the final. We had, I believe, a couple weeks ago, one of the Volkswagen new competitors make it to the final as well. But then you have Okenhog, Attard, Kingsbury, and Aish. As we're waiting on Kraus and Robertson to grid.
Talking about bringing some excitement to the league, though, you show up and you make the main and the final in your first attempt. That's pretty impressive, especially for a league like this, where a lot of these guys have been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it.
Each other.
Yeah, exactly. As we're about to get the final on your way here from Atlanta, lights out and away we go. And it's going to be Robertson leading the charge down into turn number 1. Harbor's going to make contact with Silva. Silva going to hang on, but I think we have a pile up in the back here. Kraus is around. Harbor's around. And we apologize for that language from Philip Kraus, Race Control. But
I think I'm gonna retract my statement from a few moments ago, Victor, and say that maybe running a Volkswagen is tonight's key to victory, because these things look fast.
So these Apex Racing guys know what they got. I actually asked them this question a couple weeks ago. Why are you running the Volkswagen? And Jake Robertson just said, hey, it was my pick, and that's what we got. And we're making the best of it. And here they are, 1-2 right now. Silva and Robertson 1-2. But don't look now. Here comes Ray Kingsbury in third place after starting on the back row, making it out of LCQ1.
This is going to get interesting here, Victor.
Yeah, he's going to go to the front of the pack now. Kingsbury out by about 2 seconds over Robertson and Silva.
Oh, he's going to get the wall a little bit there. That's not going to help him.
Just a little clip of the wall, but I think he's pretty much set.
Yeah, it's definitely okay from that. Nothing to hurt the car. I mean, earlier we saw, I don't think it was him. I think it was one of his teammates caught the wall a little bit in the dirt section and actually sent him around.
Yeah, that was his brother Matt Kingsbury. As we see Robertson take to the Joker now, he's going to go ahead and one up Kingsbury, as well as Sindre Silva in the 63-year points leader. These two of course, teammates here, the Apex Racing teammates of
You know, these
Robertson
guys,
and Silva.
nobody's used that strategy yet of the bait and wait. Like, wait till somebody takes the joke. It seems like it's been the leader of the second place car the first lap every time, but nobody took it until Kingsbury there, and now everybody's kind of following suit. That's another strategy I hadn't even thought of because I hadn't seen it yet.
There's so many strategies that can be played out right now for the NASCAR RallyCross. It's such an incredible series. As to update you right now, drivers out of the race is going to be Okenhog, Kraus, and Cryer, I believe, out of the race.
All victims in that whole shot crash there.
I'm going to check. Actually, Okenhog and Kraus back on the track, but they had a tow back to the pits. So they are a couple laps down. 2 laps down right now is Okenhog, and also 2 laps down is Kraus. Cryer, 3 laps down and off the track.
Yeah, back out front, you know, Robertson just doing what he's been doing. Just maintaining this lead, running nice, smooth laps, not overdoing it anywhere.
So a little bit further back in the pack, Commentators trying to track down Ray Kingsbury right now. Both of these guys driving Subarus. So, and that's the dominant car and the car of choice for the NASCAR RallyCross series as a whole for the most part. Besides your 2 leaders, it's mostly Subarus in this field, and that's the preconception a lot of people have had, that the Subarus are the best cars in the event. But obviously the Apex Racing boys making everybody think twice about that.
Yeah, your driver's still going to be a big part. I mean, you know, these cars are classed close together for a reason. They're not, even if there is a difference, it's not much, and you know, the driver can really make that up. Especially as like we're seeing here tonight, these boys are just putting the work in on them.
We go a little bit further back in the pack. Right now we have Harberts and Hartley, your defending champion, battling it out right now for 6th place on the track. Right now Hartley holds that spot over Harberts. And then about, it looks like 8 seconds up the road is Daniel Aish. And then Cohen is hard about a second ahead of him, as it looks like Hartley's going to take to the Joker here and actually get right to his teammate's back bumper. Gonna look for the pass, maybe. Looks like Aish is just going to let him go here. And that is in the rules. You can do that. If you are on a different strategy, you are allowed to let your teammate go. But when it comes to actually holding drivers up, you cannot do that. So I was actually just looking at the rule book this morning, and that was what the rule stated, was letting your teammate go because you're on a different strategy is permitted. But once again, back up front, Jake Robertson still leads. Silva second. And then actually, the next car in line, that's Philip Kraus. He's a couple laps down. Not in contention for the win, but running P8 right now, just trying to keep the, get the most points he can out of the situation.
Yeah, unfortunate what went down there in the beginning for Philip and those guys, but you know, always race car drivers know you got to maximize the situation no matter how bad it is.
Exactly.
So turning laps, getting everything you can.
With 2 to go here. Actually, he's coming to the white flag. Excuse me, I've pulled a Marty Reed. But it's Jake Robertson with a commanding lead over Sandra Silva. And it looks like it's going to be all Jake Robertson. Gonna go ahead and go back to the battle here between the couple Subarus here. It's Tard and Hartley going at it. And it looks like Cohen is going to hang on. Back at the front, it's going to be Jake Robertson winning. And we'll go ahead and jump back to that battle in just a moment.
Here he goes, back into reverse, Victor.
Yeah, Jake Robertson going to pull the reverse move, but we're going to have to jump to the battle here. It looks like Jacob Harberts has gotten around Matt Hartley. And there's a Tard right in front of him. And Hartley right behind him. So Harberts going to go to 5th place. Then Hartley 2nd. Or Hartley, excuse me, 6th. And then Daniel Aish 3rd. And Philip Kraus is going to round out the field. And there's your winners. Jake Robertson.
It's burning it down.
And Sandra Silva, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Sandra Silva gonna hang on to the points lead here tonight.
And this is neat. What a cool little show.
What a show indeed, as they finally
Minus
get out
that
of
last
sync.
part.
So it was about time to go out of sync there, but Jake Robertson, your winner, Sandro Silva in second, and finally Ray Kingsbury in third. I'm going to take just a quick moment here and go and see if we can grab your winners for tonight's event.
Very exciting first broadcast back for me. Glad to be a part of it.
Yeah,
This
no
was a lot of fun.
And of course, we hear a little bit of the comms between the drivers here. Is we're gonna go ahead and actually mute that, as obviously we got a lot going on there, and say we got to talk to our winners here. So we're gonna go ahead and bring up, let's say, third place real quickly here. We're gonna go ahead and try to grab Ray here real quick. I know he has some duties on the review panel, but we're gonna go ahead and bring him up real quick. Ray Kingsbury, it's Victor Vallee up in the ASM commentary box. Do you have a copy?
I do.
Incredible night for you. You're able to come through the LCQ and get a podium. Say, how did you get through the chaos on the first lap?
Unfortunately, I think I caused the chaos on the first lap. I caught air coming out of the starting grid, which I didn't realize could happen. So I did not get a chance to slow down like I wanted to by the time I gathered the car up. And I know Baadte was in front of me, and he said he braked early because he also caught air. So I guess I got into the back of him pretty hard and sent him into everybody, which is really unfortunate. I kind of knew something like this would happen to this track. There were, 4 wide going in there, and I hit one into them, so something bad was bound to happen.
Yeah, and as I say, obviously after the contact, you're able to make the most of it, though. For right now, a P3 result. Obviously, I don't know if that's gonna hold or not. I mean, I would assume you probably would know better than I do if you think that's gonna hold or not.
I assume I'll get some sort of reprimand, but I don't know. I think the result will still hold with the new rules package.
Well, congrats on your third place finish tonight, and do you have anyone to thank for the result?
Yeah, big shout out to Simracer Coin for sponsoring this series and giving us a place to race every week. It's a lot of fun, and I gotta give a big shout out to my teammates at Spark Virtual Reality Last Lap Motorsports. We did a lot of hard work this week in getting the setup tuned in, and it was a great car. I mean, this thing, you could pass anybody you wanted to in the asphalt corners. It's a little weaker in the dirt, but we really had it tuned up. And also the guys obviously at Spark Virtual Reality in Vernon, Connecticut for their sponsorship of our team over the last 2 years. They've been great partners and great advocates for sim racing in the Northeast.
Yeah, and actually, real quick, before I let you go, I just wanted to ask you about that setup. I heard a little bit in pre-race that the setup was geared more towards the pavement. Could you elaborate a little bit upon that, if you could, without giving away any secrets?
Yeah, not too much secret-wise. We decided, I decided to make a tactical decision to make the car more raceable. That I would essentially make it tighter in the left-hand corners and looser in the right-hand corners, because it's 99% right-hand corners here. So we loosened it up in the right-handers by just changing the ride heights correspondingly, and sacrificed in the left-handers, which are mostly the dirt, and then the turn in for the fishbowl. So we were probably losing about 2/10 of raw pace doing that, but as you can see, we got through that. What are the whole shot corners and the last 2 corners really well, and we got off the grid really nice most of the time. So I think it was worth the risk, and it paid off. I mean, we had a 3rd and a 5th place result in the final. So
Yeah, I mean, as I say, Harbert's 5th and then you 3rd. So congrats on your 3rd place. We're gonna go ahead and let you go. I know you have a couple review duties to do tonight, so congrats on the 3rd once again.
yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
You too, thank you. So that was Ray Kingsbury there, your third place finisher. Now we're going to go ahead and bring up Sandre Silva in the 63. He finished in second place. And Dylan, I believe you have this interview for us.
Mr. Silva, this is Dylan up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
So, we all want to know, what do y'all got in them V-dubs? Because y'all are looking sporty tonight out here.
Yeah, for sure. The car is working fine, and we saw that it was a lot of carnage going on behind us, so we pretty just took it carefully home and just tried to not make any mistakes and got it home P1, P2, so that's brilliant.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys took advantage of the Joker lap. You know, waited for Kingsbury to use it and then decided to capitalize the next lap. And you guys never looked back from there. It looked like you were really taking it easy in the fishbowl. There wasn't any real whip sending it into the corner. Like, you guys had your strategy and you played it perfectly, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. This is one of the fastest tracks for us, so we wanted to do a good result here for sure. Jake Robertson is one of the quickest in the world here, so we wanted to take this home, and we just hoped it wouldn't be any carnage for us in the T1. It's always had been a problem there. And we just tried to not be close to anyone else when we did our Joker, so we just, joked whenever we had a chance, and we saw that Ray was catching up a little bit, and then we just joked again, and it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it's like we were discussing prior to the final starting here, all the different strategies we had seen in relation to the Joker and what it was going to take to get it done and come away with the win. And then you guys come out of left field and played the one strategy we hadn't seen all night and just basically waited for somebody else to do it first instead of being the one to pull the trigger. And I was blown away because I hadn't even considered it. And you played it to perfection. Awesome job tonight. And let the people know what you got going on. If you got anybody to thank for the run tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I want to thank Apex Racing Academy for their support in both Pro Q and NASA. I want to thank Jake Robertson. He's spotting me when I'm racing, and I'm spotting him when he's racing. And John Robertson back in Apex Racing Academy. So just thank you to everyone that's made this possible, and we want to see you next week.
Alrighty, we appreciate your time. Thanks for coming up here and having a chat with us. I think now we're gonna pull Jake Robertson up here if he's ready and have a word with him.
Absolutely. As we're going to go ahead and bring Jake Robertson up here to the booth. Jake, is Victor up here at the ASN commentary booth? You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. I was going to say, Sandra just tossed you up a little bit. You said you were one of the fastest here in iRacing, fastest in the world around this track. So say, I guess you can go ahead and kind of elaborate upon what makes you so fast around here.
Honestly, I think it's just the amount of hours I've put in this track. I don't want to say I'm like really fast because I hate kind of saying that stuff, but this track's definitely my favorite track. It's fun to run laps at, and I've put in a lot of hours.
Yeah,
I really kind of gel with it.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely can tell you for a fact that there are a lot of tracks that a lot of people do gel with, and obviously you have something with this track. But I want to get your opinion on tonight's race. How was it for you? I know obviously you and Sandra kind of had the strategy down to a T, kept Ray Kingsbury at bay, and were able to take home a 1-2. So tell us about that from your perspective.
Yeah, from the final, I saw that I got a good launch, so I wanted Sindri to get in behind me. I think there was a slight incident behind, but I'm not entirely sure what happened there. We had talked about the strategy before the race, and we decided that we would just both Joker on the first lap. And then we said we were going to save one, but we decided to Joker lap 3, I think, as well. And then basically from there, we would just focus on our own laps, which it worked out pretty well because we basically didn't come into contact with any other cars. Just running our own laps, and Sindri done a great job as well. Really quick out there.
Yeah, and I know Ray Kingsbury, when we interviewed him, he was talking about his setup, and how they set the car up to be a little bit more give a little bit more bite into the right-handers. Did you guys do anything kind of similar to that, or was it just a straight up, rallycross setup, left, rights, even?
Generally on the more worn tracks, because so many cars have been running on it, we tried to set the car up for a more worn track. Generally, we would try and go for a bit more understeer, so it's a bit more comfortable. But we tried more oversteer to get around that donk slide, T5 or whatever it is, and it seemed to work for us.
Yeah, it definitely did work. Obviously, to say you guys took home 1-2. Before we let you go, do you have anyone to thank for your result?
Yeah, I want to thank Sindri for the practice he's put in this week. He was pretty dedicated to this race. It was good to see. I also want to thank our sponsors SDK and Simputers and you guys for the broadcast.
Well, thank you, Jake, and congrats on the win. We'll see you next week, I believe, right?
Yes, you will.
Awesome. So we'll see you next week, and once again, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Congrats, Jake.
Cheers.
And that was Jake Robertson, your winner for tonight. And before we wrap things up, Dylan, do you have anything left to say here? As I think a lot has been said already tonight.
Yeah, what a night. This was a super exciting thing. I want to say, just so he hears it, thank you to Josh for getting me back involved here and having me come in to help out this week. I appreciate the extension. It was a good time to come in here and work with you, Victor, and look forward to hopefully being back on with you next week and have some fun again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that is going to be all we have for you tonight. But for myself and Dylan Baadte and Josh Mertz, who's not here, but of course he's giving me the reins for tonight, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to the Simracer Coin NASA RallyCross Championship here from Atlanta for your third round. We'll see you next week for the next round of the NASA RallyCross Series Championship. Thank you so much. Everybody have a good night and be safe.